Milk. Original story written by Nathaniel Griffin, read by the author. It wasn't milk. At least, that was Johnny's first thought as the alabaster liquid flowed in a sheet from the mouth of the bottle. It had a strange, hesitant quality that defied what he knew of the physics of fluid, and his first instinct was to drop the slick, condensated bottle to the sandstone tiles and beat Pete for the car. Instead, Johnny gingerly placed both the milk bottle and the half-full glass back on the countertop, where it caught the sickly, half-hearted rays of an autumn afternoon and tossed them back at his eyes in lazy flares. He noticed a smell, too, both sweet and overwhelming, like a career drunk's missive vomit. Johnny turned to Lauren, his pretty young wife of 2 years, absently wiping the hand that had held the milk bottle on the breast of his chambray work shirt. "Honey, when did we get this milk? I think it might be..." But Lauren's eyes were wide, fixated on the counter behind Johnny. Her magazine dropped from numb fingers to the table where she sat. Johnny spun around, taking 2 steps back in reflex and instinctively raising his hands in a warding, defensive posture, like a priest in a Silver Age monster flick. On the counter, the glass containing the milk broke open with a flat, decisive crack as its contents expanded. The white fluid it contained a moment before now looked somewhere between a liquid and a solid, doughy somehow, like it was rising, taking form. An alien muscle metastasizing inside a strange womb. "Jesus fucking Christ, I almost drank that," Johnny thought with mute horror. As he and Lauren looked on, faces slack with stupid terror, the nearly solid thing from the glass sloughed itself out onto the counter, knocking the milk bottle into the sink where it shattered, its shards tinkling like discordant bells in a symphony performed by freaks. It took shape now, a thick cylinder 3 feet long, with a diameter like a can of beer. It rose, hefting half its bulk into the air, and swung the end of itself toward Johnny and Lauren. Johnny blindly reached his left hand back, where it struck Lauren's breast, and pushed. They both retreated across the kitchen until Lauren's ass struck the Formica wall, and Johnny nearly fell backwards over her. In a panicked tea kettle whisper, Lauren asked, "Johnny, what the fuck is that thing?" As if it knew what were being discussed, the thing on the counter jerked toward them, locking in unnatural stillness. The part that Johnny thought of as its head split open, becoming a maw 6 inches wide, lined with teeth like obsidian needles. A cluster of tiny, asymmetrical eyes swam to the surface of its flesh with a wet pop, dead center and fixated on them. Just as Johnny opened his mouth to tell Lauren to run, to get out, to get the fuck away, the thing coiled like a spring-loaded viper and leapt at them. Nothing can move that fast, Johnny thought. He just had time to step in front of Lauren, the reflex of raising his left arm saving his life. The milk thing latched onto his hand, his left thumb disappearing into its mouth. Its body hung, flailing like a half-full sausage shaken by a dog before wrapping around the length of Johnny's forearm, constricting like a python. Johnny felt the bones there snap like pencils, the pain like coals inside his muscles. The thing tore its head away from Johnny's hand, taking his thumb with it and leaving a raw, red, meaty semicircle in its place. Johnny gasped, a high, choked sound. The pain exploded up Johnny's arm like a crimson sledgehammer. He heard Lauren screaming, and then the fact that he was screaming too came to him, a phone call from a no-service zone. Without thinking, Johnny's right hand slapped at his pocket, yanking the folding knife clip there free and snapping its blade open. The thing wrapped around his arm was chewing his thumb, a casual grinding that made his gorge rise. It sounded like carrot sticks. Its baleful, malevolent eyes never left Johnny's face, and he had a good idea where it meant to go next. Face red, teeth biting down to near-shatter pressure, Johnny hacked at the thing's head with the knife, leaving great, ragged lacerations that spewed a fluid like the sap of a milkweed. After many feral cuts, the milk thing's body dropped to the floor like a rotten apple in a strong wind. It lay in a twitching mass, a lacerated, formless wreck bathed in white and red blood. Though the red belonged to him, Johnny still felt primordial triumph roar in him. Johnny cradled his shattered, maimed arm against his chest. Lauren grabbed him by the shirt and led him out of the house with a shaking hand, heading to the hospital or maybe the cops. She opened the passenger side door for him and helped ease him into the seat. She took special care when pulling the seatbelt across his body. She went round the car to the driver's side and got in. She looked at him with a wan smile, and Johnny could see all the love of their life together there. "Are you okay, baby?" Johnny fixed her with a gaze. "I will be." Lauren turned the key in the ignition and the engine roared to life. Neither of them heard the wet thump as something squeezed through the cracked rear window and dropped to the floor of the car.